program manager for the local crowd Monadnock, which is hosted by the Monadnock Food Co-op in Keene. And I'm also the manager for the local crowd Upper Valley, hosted by Vital Communities. So it's great to have folks from both regions. Both of these programs are part of the local crowd cooperative. So I'll share a relatively quick overview of what crowdfunding is, why crowdfund with us, and then I really want to give you plenty of time to hear your questions and your crowdfunding goals, because hopefully you're all coming to it from different angles, so that'll make a rich discussion. So the local crowd, also known as TLC, is a community-based crowdfunding platform that empowers individuals to support businesses and initiatives like yours, efforts that grow wealthier and healthier communities. And if you're new to this idea, crowdfunding is the practice of sourcing small contributions from a large number of people to provide funding for a particular effort using an online platform like the local crowd. It's really a great tool for startups, for established businesses, for people who just have a glimmer of an idea. You can really use it in lots of different ways. So crowdfunding isn't rocket science, but just to be fair, it is a science. When you know the proven practices that make it work, you're more likely to meet your fundraising goals. So the local crowd offers online resources to help you build a successful campaign. It's really not about putting up a campaign page and then walking away. It is real work, but we're here to help you every step of the way. So we really to transform your community connections and your dreams into actual dollars. So our crowdfunding teams really enjoy a high rate of success, with more than 60% of our campaigns reaching their financial goals, compared to Kickstarter and Indiegogo, which you might be familiar with, which have success rates in the low 30s to 40s percentile. So having someone locally that you can call up when you're run into a technical glitch, it really is, it's a wonderful opportunity for me, but also to make sure that you're getting the resources that you would need. So the benefits of crowdfunding, they really go far beyond the dollars raised, and that's an important thing to keep in mind. Crowdfunding campaign creators like yourselves, they can get benefits like refining your business plans, finding new partners, testing out a product idea or a marketing idea, preparing for additional funding, like maybe a grant match, expanding your network, and finding new customers. We'll actually revisit this slide later when I open it up for questions, but just to kind of, already start thinking about, well, gee, beyond dollars, what do I really want to gain from doing something like this? A bit more about our training that we provide. I'm going to open up a link. Yes, it's cooperating with me right now. So in the beginning, you kind of saw the from the start to finish. We have 5 modules that include videos, best practices that you can use. You can visit anytime. You can do this, 24/7. And then when you run into a question or you run into a challenge, I send you weekly updates. So it's not that you might be like, oh, I really need to talk to Jen, but I'll also, send something weekly. And then if you have a more in-depth question, we can hop on a Zoom call. You can call me via phone. When you stump me, which you will, I have a crew that I can reach out to, and they can help with more technical expertise, whether that's around crowdfunding or just setting up your crowdfunding page. So this is available to you once you apply and are accepted into the program. This is actually a service that if you didn't have a community like the local crowd Upper Valley or Monadnock, you'd have to pay for just to get the resources. So we're thrilled that we can offer these resources to you for being part of the program for free. And just to look at one of our campaigns so you can get a feel for what your page could look like. This is for a campaign that wrapped up this spring. So it's not that you have to build this page on your own and go, oh my goodness, because that's usually something that people fear. It's like, how am I going to build this? Well, if you've used WordPress or any kind of like web platform, you're filling in forms. You're working on the content offline, and then you're putting the content online when you're ready. So you can put your fundraising goal, how long you want to run your campaign. Usually they're about 30 days, but that can be extended depending on your needs. We have a space for you to put a video or a featured image. And then this campaign introduction here is really about expressing your why. So many people would say, I want to do a crowdfunding campaign and I want to put up solar panels at a farm and sell it to other farmers, sell the electricity to other farmers. And so what we try to help you do is figure out what's your why. Why are people going to be connected to your idea, so that when you have this campaign introduction, it's really an invitation to give. It's not a, I need money for this. And so that's really in our first module. It's all about uncovering or amplifying your why. And then when you scroll down a little bit more, you have more of the flesh and bones of your campaign story. We like to call it a story. And we do have tools to help you figure out how you can take your idea and create a story that's going to engage more people. It's really difficult to do that. So not all campaign leaders have the time or the energy to put into that, but we'll try our best to help you transform your what, who, what, where, when, and why into a story. And then you'll notice on the right, you also have the opportunity to offer rewards. So this isn't a place where people will donate or give their dollars and then you'll pay them back. That's a different kind of crowdfunding platform. We're a rewards-based platform. So a lot of our campaigns actually reach out to other local businesses and say, hey, I'm doing a crowdfunding campaign. If you would like to support my campaign, maybe without dollars, but with a sponsored reward, like for instance, the Monadnock Food Co-op will donate gift cards that then the campaign team can offer as a reward. And so someone gives $25, they can say, hey, I'll take one of those rewards for $25 gift card. That's a win-win-win. The co-op gets a new customer, the campaign team gets the funding, and then the person feels good about giving, but they also get a little present back. So that's another way that you can get more funds beyond just asking for dollars. You can either offer rewards that maybe it's more of a service, so it's not going to cost you a lot of money to ship something, or it can be leveraging your partners to give you that sponsored reward. Another person is actually working on a book right now, so he's pre-selling his book as a reward. So that's another great way, so that when he goes to publish the book, he's like, all right, only 5 people pre-bought. I might need to rethink my next step. So that's another great thing. And then there are updates that we encourage you to do throughout the campaign. So as soon as you launch, you want to be like, woohoo, look at us go, and invite people who have already given to share it with the people that they know. And then really update your supporters every step of the way. Contributors can put their names, or they can give you money anonymously. And then you get a little bit of feel for, wow, are these all local donations, or are they coming from different parts of the country, and why are they giving? And then we also offer, besides rewards, we offer matches. So you can actually get another community partner that says, okay, I'll give you a $1,000 match. For every dollar that you receive during a certain time frame, we're going to match it. So the Conservation District did a $1,000 double your impact match, and the system will track it for you. So you don't have to think about, okay, I've got $1 here, I got to reduce my matching challenge by $1. It'll all do it automatically for you. So like I mentioned, editing your campaign, that's something that you can do until you hit publish. But then I'm here in case you do have anything that you need to add. I can help you do that. And the rewards as well, you can add rewards throughout your campaign if you'd like. Some people do that. The next thing I just wanted to do is kind of point you to our FAQs, which of course I'm going to take to the right page here. So our frequently asked questions page is geared towards people who are going to contribute to your campaign, but it can also be a place that if you have a number of people that you think are going to help you, we encourage you to recruit teammates to be part of your campaign team, so you're not doing it alone. So this is a great place when they go, well, how much of that contribution is actually going to go to you? And you can either ask me or you can go, oh, all right. Well, actually, while there is no upfront fee for participating in the local crowd, when you actually hit go and you get an online contribution, 5% of that contribution will go to the local crowd so that we can reinvest it and offer more marketing and more tools in the future. So that's about the same as like Kickstarter. I know if you're a nonprofit, you might be able to get a lower rate, but it really is about keeping those dollars even more local and reinvesting it to make the platform stronger. And just like any kind of online donation, there's going to be, unfortunately, credit card processing fees. So this kind of outlines that as well. So when you're developing your campaign, you can actually think about, well, given these fees, I better raise my goal a little bit more to cover this. So you just want to keep that in mind. And the thing that I love is that you can go through the process with me, get all the way to, okay, I'm going to launch, and then go, you know what, this isn't the right time, or I'm not quite ready. And that would all be things, resources and time that, you would get for free, which, I don't have any problem with that, because I want to see you all succeed. So you can kind of keep that in mind, that if you're not quite sure, still going through the process might be a good thing for you if you have the time and energy. So I wanted to open it up. I'm going to go back to this, but I would just love to hear either, you can type it in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and tell us more about where you're from, what kind of project you're thinking of, and if there's any of these benefits that you think either you're interested in or you never thought of, and so you want to kind of note.
Well, I'm here representing the Monadnock Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Coalition, and we are just a subset of Keene Family YMCA. And Megan has told us so much about TLT, and we're so glad to see it. But it's even better than I expected.
Oh,
Jen,
good.
it's awesome. It's really great to know like the local reinvestment strategy, and to be able to explain that to future donors.
Great. No,
Really
we appreciate
awesome.
that. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Jen Larry Harper, representing the Langdon Congregational Church and Community Center.
Great.
We're a 1830 church that is unfortunately was the center of Langdon. It's the reason Langdon is here, because at one point Langdon was part of Walpole. It was also part of Charlestown, but it was just too hard for people to get to church in the 1830s. So the church was created. But it is a church which brings new fundraising issues. Community center, people are much more interested in nowadays, but it is still a church. And it's gone through some hard times, and happily the community is strongly behind it. We're a small farming community. Probably most people don't even know where Langdon is. Right. Probably the best way to say it is that we're right next to Alstead. And we're on 12A. That's the best way to say it. It's a small farming community. So people are tied closely to this project. A lot of the people got married there. A lot of people passed away, had funerals there and so on. So they want to try and save this church, but also save it for the community activities, the Harvest Festival and the different festivals they've got.
That's great.
Something like this could really help. But a question, how does, again, I know in some cases people can't give to churches. How has this affected what we're looking for as a church?
That's a great question, because we've never had a church, just to be totally transparent. I know that this isn't always, a donation. It's not a tax deductible thing if it's not offered by, if you don't have a fiscal sponsor, or it's not offered by a nonprofit. So, we have for-profit businesses that run campaigns. So the folks that give $5 or $10 or $25, even maybe a little bit more, aren't as concerned about that tax write-off. They want to support your story. So I could see that being a way to get people to give without that reservation. But it's definitely something that I think we need to explore a little bit more, because I know you presented at the Hannah Grimes pitch. Did you?
Well, we received a grant from the state,
Okay.
LTIP, and we have, so that's a matching fund. Most of my work has actually helped in planning.
Okay.
Another gentleman has been doing all the grant writing, and he was unable to make it this time, so I'm
Okay.
pinch hitting.
Sure, no problem. No, and Alstead has gotten quite a few campaigns launched and successfully financed. So Orchard Hill Breadworks, Village Roots Permaculture has actually they've both done 2 campaigns. So at least you have those partners that I can connect you with if you're not already, to just hear about their experience. Marty is actually the one that I alluded to, who's going to be writing a book.
Terrific.
Yeah, so it's definitely got a nice group there that understands the local crowd. So the people who give to those campaigns usually give to others. So that's definitely a bonus. But your question is a really good one, and I'm going to definitely reach out to our group, find out a little bit more about that for you.
We're currently 501c3.
Okay, you're a C3. Okay.
But that may be thrown into question at the end of this year. We'll see. But currently,
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Larry.
Thank
I know,
you.
Gail, you're part of the same group as Michelle, but did you want to share anything? Put you on the spot.
Sure. Good morning still, everyone. First of all, thank you for hosting this session and really giving us an opportunity to see what's behind what seems to have been some really successful crowdfunding campaigns. I'm actually here today representing the Keene Family YMCA. And I think, like a lot of other nonprofits, this year is a bit challenging when it comes down to the fundraising efforts. So I'm here just trying to understand if this would be a fit for the Y to do sort of like a year-end wrap up fundraising to supplement our annual fund. And I don't know if you have had similar campaigns or any that sounds familiar, speaking from a nonprofit perspective.
Yep. No, that's because you don't want to cannibalize your other campaigns. So I think it's thinking about it in a way that frames it as maybe a smaller project. I know that New Hampshire Gives does a great opportunity to try out crowdfunding and see how it works, because you have all these people in New Hampshire behind you. So even if you're not ready to launch a campaign with a local crowd on your own, taking advantage of those group crowdfunding opportunities is really good. The Monadnock United Way has done I think they've done 3 or 4 campaigns with us. And I think it's challenging for a nonprofit that fundraises all the time, because I think you just want to take the same framework that you use, for a different kind of campaign and plug it, like smush it in, because you're so busy. And so that's really the challenge, is to kind of try to wipe away everything that you normally do and be open to a different way of doing it, or be open to cultivating new potential supporters in the future. So maybe young, like I know some of our nonprofits want to focus more on young people. So they might not get that much funding, or either they might get a small donation from somebody, but just kind of keep that in mind that that's a future person that might give a little bit more. I also think the opportunity to tell the story is stronger. Like if you just have a donate now button on your website, people don't always know how much their donations are coming together to make big things happen. So having a one page that people can refer back to, and you can refer back to say, wow, look at, we're 50% of the way to our goal. So I think there's some opportunity for community engagement with that. And then the sponsored rewards are another big differentiator between other more traditional fundraising campaigns, is that you can, especially the Y has so many businesses that support what you do, taking the time to try to get those sponsored rewards. And we have an email template that we can send to you and adapt and then send out. But that would be a great way for you to get hopefully people who give, but also people want to give a little bit more because they want to get that reward. So someone might have given $10, but then they see, ooh, for $50, I can get whatever. That's also a difference with crowdfunding compared to others. And then of course we've had like Aurora Bakery. They just wrapped up their nonprofit that serves adults with disabilities. So this was a great opportunity to tell their story. So I think, again, if you can think about putting some faces that people know behind your ask, having the opportunity to have a video that's not just about an overview of your program, but a real, like, here's somebody who gets supported by us, or here's something we want to do. Yeah, that's really great.
Right. And sort of sharing those real impact moments, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great. But thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
My brain is churning.
Great. That's really what we want you to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. And something I always think about is, like, you could think of it as a marketing, like an ad. Say it's an advertisement that's actually going to pay you back. So if you can kind of think that too, that might change your mind. Oh, sorry, Heidi. You have a question?
Oh, sure. Yes. Thank you.
Sure.
So I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the information that you put out about this session. Said try to keep your goals under $15,000 and under.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? And then if we have a goal that's, double that, you had mentioned, grants that might be available, or do you have sources for grants locally, or is it nationally that we can apply to as well?
I don't have any leads on grants, but we have a number of business consultants that we work with that we could ask. But really what that saying under $20,000 is really to frame people's expectations. There are definitely businesses that come to us that can raise more. But if you don't have, it's funny, it's really the amount of emails you have sometimes is the biggest indicator of success. And so we just want people that think, oh, I could get all the money for our church through crowdfunding. And depending on when you start going through the modules, you might realize, ooh, I can't get all that maybe from one campaign. So we would work with you after you filled out the application to go, well, can you, if your project costs $50,000, is there a way that you phase the project so that you can fund a portion of it, maybe not all of it? Because with our crowdfunding platform, if you don't raise your goal, you still get to keep that money. But if you don't raise enough to actually fulfill any part of your goal, then you're stuck. So if you could take a big project and turn it into something smaller, if you could find a way to take your funds and find a grant that's looking for ways that demonstrates that the community supports your idea, then leveraging those funds to get bigger funds is kind of the opportunity there. When you send out social media about your campaign, that's a really important component of running your campaign. But people need to see your campaign like 6 or 7 times in order to go, oh, wait, I want to give. And by having that email go to them, in addition to everything else, then they'll go, ooh, it's right in front of me right now, so I'm going to give. But if you don't have the opportunity to send that email to somebody to get that final thing in front of them, then you might lose that opportunity. So we actually have a spreadsheet that people can go through that says, how many email contacts do you have, your partners have, how much are you looking to raise? And then at the end of this spreadsheet, it'll go, you need to reach out to 40,000 people to meet your goal. And then you go, oh my goodness, I can't do that. So then you can kind of scale down. So really that $20,000 level is more because we are a very hyper local crowdfunding platform. So it's harder for us to go viral like some of the Kickstarters, but the opportunity to go viral on Kickstarter doesn't always happen. So yeah, we just want you to right size your thinking. And like I alluded to, if you do a campaign for one part of your project, there's no reason why you can't come back 6 months, a year later and do another campaign with us. It's not like one time and then you're out.
Great,
Did that answer
thank
your
you.
question, Heidi?
Yes, absolutely.
Great. No, that's good. I'm glad people have those questions because there's a lot to digest. And that was really what this info session was about. Because I think people get excited. Ooh, money, I'm going to apply. And then they realize, oh, darn it, I got to do work. So just want to make sure that while we're here to make it easier, it still is an ample amount of work.
So I guess another question would be in relation to emails then. I mean, I live in the Upper Valley, so, you know, Vital Communities is who I would be working with, I guess. Do we, you know, are we going to be amplified, I guess, on their emails and on their social media platforms, or?
Absolutely. Yeah. So
okay.
like the local crowd in the Monadnock region, we have an email list. We have the co-op's email list when it's a good fit. You know, we don't always share every campaign through that channel. Vital Communities will definitely share it on their website and in their newsletter. But it's one of those things, no matter how much Vital Communities sends out the campaign, it's not until you ask that sometimes people give. Occasionally, what we have, if our marketing team is available, we'll send a press release out as well, but we encourage the campaign team leader to take advantage of that. You know, a lot of our local media have actually run campaigns with us, so they know, you know, they know how it supported them and want to kind of pay it back a little bit. So there's that opportunity too. But yeah, great questions. You know, we have a whole bunch of people that have given before, so we're going to let them know here's another opportunity where they could put their dollars and invest locally.
Great, thank you.
Sure. Was it Nando or Tia? Did you have any questions? I know a lot of folks are from the same campaign team, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm with the coalition too with Michelle and
Great.
Gail. So I guess I had a question, but it was kind of answered because I was like, I know you mentioned that the time frame was about 30 days usually for the fundraising, but I was wondering if you don't meet your goal after that 30 days, can you extend it? Or and like, because I was kind of thinking of like the GoFundMe, how if you don't meet your goal, like I think everyone gets their money back kind of thing. So, and you talked a little bit about that too.
Right. Yeah, so if there's some circumstance that you feel like, wow, I really need it under 30 days, we have that flexibility because we know you, where Kickstarter and Indiegogo can't do that due diligence. So that gives us the opportunity to go, okay, these guys have talked to me. I'm going to go ahead and extend their campaign. But we found the more times that a campaign team extends it, the kind of like the more diluted their efforts become, because having a 30-day kind of go,
Yeah,
it really keeps the momentum up. So I think that's the biggest. Okay, we got to keep going.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
But there is that opportunity for
Awesome.
sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
And Jen, I was driving. So the first part of this, I was on a phone call and then I hopped in when I got home. You were talking about a link that you showed to, I don't know, just earlier in your presentation at the beginning. Was there something that you could share with us in chat that we can take a look at?
The module you'd need to log in. Oops, I just saw I was unstable. But I can definitely follow up with another couple of links and a little bit more about the campaign modules. Another thing I just want to show, hopefully you can all still hear me and my internet isn't going wonky, is we have our call for projects out. That's really why we're having this session right now. The local crowd, you can apply anytime to work with us. but we like maybe twice a year to give you a little incentive because I think people are busy. So they go, oh, I'll apply next month, and then you forget. So a little incentive to apply right now in our latest call for projects is due, of course I can't read that because I've moved around everything, is August 12th at 5:00 p.m. So for the local crowd Upper Valley, we have a landing page that I'll send to folks with all the information, and the Monadnock region has another landing page. It's all basically the same info. So if you apply through one program and you locally, so 710 Main Films has done a number of our campaign videos, and that's just another best practice. You know, you don't have to have a video, but gee, if you have one produced by somebody else, that's going to be wonderful to spread the word and tell your story. The modules actually go over how to do a great video. So, you know, this is more of an incentive to get you to fill out that form. And just for example, if you go to the local crowd Monadnock, Heidi was asking questions from this information. It gives kind of the same information that I just went over. And then the qualifications and some of the benefits. In terms of responsibilities, you know, we have a survey that we ask people to fill out after they're done. And again, that helps us improve so that if you run into because that's a benefit to you. I mentioned this, we'd love for you to form a campaign team and not go it alone. That's going to cut down on the amount of time you individually have to invest in the program. And then each person you invite to the team will have different skill sets that you can kind of leverage, and also more emails that you'll be able to reach out to. Like I said, working with us, working with our team to help in the community outreach, and then spreading the word about your success for your own benefit, but also to connect with more people like yourselves. So the application process is pretty straightforward. There's a Google form that you can fill out. If there are things that you're not quite sure about, like, well, let's get down here. I'm not sure what the project name is. Just put TBD. This is really to give me